Robert Epstein was right. If you don't know who Robert Epstein is, or Epstein, I don't know how you necessarily pronounce it, but he was on Joe Rogan's podcast recently, and he was talking about what Google is doing. They're monitoring, all of our, interactions on their platforms. YouTube is one of their platforms, and they're also with their Gmail, their email accounts. They're sending out certain things to certain people. And Joe Rogan and him got in a conversation, and they wanted to test it live on air. They were saying, well, about voting, reminding to vote. And they said that they were sending them disproportionately to certain people, to Democrats or left-leaning people than to the right or Republican-leaning. And I was like, well, maybe, this is true. Maybe he's just trying to promote his side of things, but I guess he's a pretty left-leaning guy, and he just wants things to be fair. But anyways, I didn't know, how to confirm this other than, seeing his research, for itself. But recently I saw this firsthand, and you're going to laugh when you find out how I found this out. But because I don't have a lot of views, I don't have a lot of followers, sometimes I will watch my own content from different accounts that I have on YouTube, just to try to get a couple of views. All right, I can't have no views on my content. All right, I gotta have at least one view. And so I went from one account and I went to another account, and when I went on that account and refreshed YouTube, the YouTube sign in the corner had like some animation on it, and it had some, promoting thing, and when you hover over it with your mouse, it says something. And I'm like, that I've never seen that, not one time, on my normal Fit Philosopher account that I use every day for, watching podcasts and watching videos and things like that. And then I didn't think anything of it. And then a couple days later, same thing. I go and make a video and post and go on that account, and then it happens again, but it's a completely different thing, okay? But it's on the same account. So for whatever reason, that account is getting these promotions and these little, things to get you to click on it and to get you to, it was, I forget what it was about, the Latino heritage or something like that. It was about that. Now, I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but what I'm saying is that it doesn't do that for every single account. I've never seen it. And when I refreshed that same day on my stuff, it didn't do it, okay? And it was just very interesting to me to see how Epstein, again, I don't know how to pronounce it, but the guest on Joe Rogan's podcast, you can find that pretty easily, talked about how they're using their own algorithms. Okay, you like this content, certain content that you like. We're going to try to shift you one way or the other. And he talked about how he could get a 50-50 split. So somebody who's on 50-50 on the borderline, to get that to become a 90-10 split where they're siding with one side 90%. And, I think like to my content, it's like, the stuff that I watch and the stuff that I think that they look at that and they go, well, this person's not going to be swayed. Whereas maybe other people, they will, because maybe they're more 50-50 about things. I kind of have my own, my algorithm is pretty much the same. It's podcasts, it's a few sports things, it's MMA, pretty much all sport, is MMA. Maybe I get some soccer, maybe I get some basketball, but it's mostly MMA, podcasts that are about health, wellness, fitness, philosophy, and comedy. That's pretty much it. Those are the things that I do. So with whatever that I go down, whatever rabbit holes I go down, I guess YouTube says, all right, we're not really focused too much on this guy, but we are going to focus on these other accounts. So like one of my accounts, I don't use it at all. I forget what I opened it up for. And originally, I think I originally opened it up to make videos on, and then I created this one. So it was never, I never had a big algorithm in it. It's basically a blank slate. So they look at that and go, okay, maybe we can sway. So it's interesting. I made another video about how you vote. And in this day and age, in this society, you vote with what you pay attention to, what you like, what you share, what you spend money on, what you spend time on. And if they're choosing certain people who are, more of a blank slate to try to mold them down their path, if that path is not what you want, you should be wary, and you should be watching that Joe Rogan interview with Robert Epstein, and you should be thinking about, hey, do I want to let myself go down these paths where people are swaying me unbeknownst to me? Like I said, I never experienced any of it, because when I go on, I have my stuff, and I'm pretty set in my ways in regard to, what I watch. And so if somebody is on the border, they could be swayed very, very easily. And Epstein has research behind this. So I'm interested to find more about that. But I just wanted to give you guys a firsthand account of, I've seen it just in my own, my own usage of these Google, again, Google owns YouTube, these Google accounts. And it's very, very interesting. So I want to know what you think. I want to know if you've experienced some of that stuff, or if you haven't, and what you think maybe we should be doing about this in the future, because these companies have such a big stranglehold. I mean, they were talking about how YouTube, who's the competitor for YouTube? Yeah, you can name a couple other things that do what YouTube does, but does anybody use them? Look at the view counts on the same video. If somebody posts a video on one, posts a video on the other, it's not even 1%. So it's weird that they have this big stranglehold on things. And if they want to push people down a certain path, they can. And that's interesting. And that should get you thinking about, who do you want in control? Do you really want these people in control, or do you want it to be more representative of the whole picture, or just what a small few want? So I thought that was interesting, and I'm looking forward to see more what Robert Epstein does, and you should check out that Joe Rogan podcast with him. Thank you.